General Ranjeet Singhji, Major General Ranjeet Singhji, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Ji, very well.
Welcome to Vision India Forum. One of the patrons, one of the friends of the forum, Major General Ranjeet Singh. Namaskar, Jai Hind, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining.
Jai Hind.
You are such a wonderful leader. Amrit Mahotsav series today. Another show, a monologue show today of Major General Ranjeet Singh, somebody who knows the education system of the army in and out. Somebody is well traveled, fantastic speaker, secondly puts across his points without any, with no holds barred. Somebody who likes to speak straight from the heart. Somebody who doesn't mince his words. Somebody who is not diplomatic. The best quality about Major General Ranjeet Singh is he is not a diplomatic person, except for when he has to deal with his superiors. He has supported the forum over the thick and thin for the last 15 months. A yoga fanatic. Somebody who carries the flag of India's rich history, legacy in the form of yoga all over the world. June 21st is fast approaching. General Ranjeet Singh ji, your experience of the entire academic scenario of the army, because you handled the army wings, you were also vice chancellor of a few universities, 3 universities. And
Thank
then
you,
you are somebody who doesn't shy away from, putting yourself upside down in the form of Shirshasan, taking the plunge, as they say. You are a man who believes in action more than words. You are a man who believes in practicing than just preaching. Over to you, Major General Ranjeet Singh ji.
Thank you, Ji. Jai Hind once again. And I'm very thankful to you that you have been giving me the opportunity for the last 15 months on various forums and on various topics. And you have enlightened me, in fact, in person. I'm personally thankful to you again for giving me this today's opportunity to speak on yoga in the army. As also, I will request you to kindly give me 5 minutes to highlight the yoga in civil life, as I was the VC of 3 different universities. Amit ji and all audience who will be hearing it, we are thankful to the Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Modi ji, that on 21st June 2015, this Yoga Day was accepted, and with a thumping majority in the UNO, where most of the Muslim countries also accepted it. It's a great occasion, in fact. We will really be thankful to him. Amit ji, yoga in the army, of course, we have started much earlier, but it was not a routine thing. If I quote in 2001, 2004, and 2006, where General V.K. Singh was my deputy GOs in 15 Corps, Srinagar. He is also a yoga expert. His wife was my student in yoga class in Srinagar. We started Amit at a very low level. And over a period of time, it became so popular that I could at least train 90,000 soldiers, officers, families, and civilian students, as I was the principal of an army public school where 1,500 local students were there, and majority was Muslim students. It was a great achievement, Amit. However, subsequently in 2012, I invited General V.K. Singh, who is my role model, and Mrs. V.K. Singh in Center Pachmari, to show us as to how we train our students, how we train our officers, and also the foreign students into yoga. And that was a great success, Amit, in fact. However, when I went to Japan in 2001, and I was teaching the international players into yoga, I could find some of the Muslim students who were not keen to learn. If you pronounce Om, which is called Udit Pranayam, and in Udit Pranayam, you pronounce the sound O. Om. It vibrates the brain. And in brain, there are some chemicals. Most important is dopamine and serotonin. They produce happy state of mind. And you know, our Jawans, they are under stress. Officers are also under stress. The stress may be of climate, of hazards, of jungles, of the terrorists. At times, when the Jawan is not getting a terrorist, he's under stress. Plus, he has got the stress of his family, children education, land dispute, or the financial problems. Everyone is facing problems. But we keep him motivated by talks and through yoga, in fact, latest. And that's how we got success in 15 Corps and subsequently now definitely the Army, Navy and Air Force, everywhere yoga is being tried. My only worry is, Amitji, that in civil society, since I was the Vice Chancellor for 3 universities, I'm afraid the universities are not doing it. 45,000 colleges are not practicing. 15 lakh schools, including 10 lakh government schools and 5 lakh private schools, are not practicing yoga regularly as a part of routine as per new education policy 2020. In fact, Prime Minister will be very hurt when he sees the students not doing yoga. A girl from 20th floor jumping a few days back in Delhi metro station. If the students are practicing yoga, they will never commit suicide. They can take on stress. And Amit, stress is a plural word. STRESSES. This means strength. S means develop strength. In Jawans, we develop physical, mental, emotional strength. T, traffic control of thoughts. We tell the Jawan one thing at a time. Your aim is to kill the terrorist, to capture the terrorist. And his focus is on the terrorist. In the civil society also, we tell these students, focus one thing at a time. He is confused. ये भी कर लूं, वो भी कर लूं, manager बन जाऊं, army officer बन जाऊं, IAS भी बन जाऊं. He is not deciding. So traffic control of thoughts, regroup himself or herself. Morning, evening, stress-free life. Morning में ये करना, दोपहर, शाम को. And share your problems. The Jawans also share, buddy. The Jawans share their problems. Then with the senior Havaldar, with the JSU, or with the officers if required. In the civil society also, the students must share their problems, which they are not doing because life is lonely. एक बच्चा का जो ग्रुप पहले होता था, I think that is lacking. Whereas in the army, we have the buddy system, we have the groups. Then strive for true success. Army, we tell the Jawans, you will become Naik, you will become Havaldar, you will become JSU. And if they are good, they become officers. There's no doubt. In the civil also, they must be told, go slow. Today only you want everything. Aaj ite paas gaadi ho, bangla ho, everything is there. It's not. He's aiming too big. Some time back, Prime Minister and the Vice President, few days back, when he released the book 2020 Drive, Modi ji, Dream and Drive. I was present there. There also he highlighted that the expectations are too many. Go slow, as per Dr. Kalam. Dream big, but in small steps. In yoga also we teach patience, patience, and patience. And you will go away from stress. Anxiety, depression will never come. But those who don't practice, as I told you, 15 lakh schools, 47,000 colleges, more than 1,000 universities, and Sainik schools, military schools, and army schools, and IIMs. They do not have regular yoga classes. I feel so bad when I visit Japan, Australia, and America. And there I see Chinese teaching yoga. It's our technique. ये हमारी संस्कृति है, ये हमारी technique है, और Chinese बना रहे हैं America. So therefore, what Prime Minister wants is that it should reach grassroots level, which is not reaching. Till date, it has not reached. Of course, Ramdevji and many others, they have been trying. I have visited 500 villages, where I have also definitely highlighted yoga is for fitness, yoga is for stress-free environment. But it is not being practiced, really speaking, by every person or at the lowest level, at the grassroots level. However, Amitji, it's a great day for us. The next 25 June is about to come. I will show you one or two civil examples how the yoga can help. It has helped my university students. 6 months training in yoga Not a single girl was having hemoglobin 11, 12, and 13. After 6 months, my yoga team and we continued giving them guidance. The yoga asanas, meditation, pranayam, and Nyoli Kriya. And I can assure you with normal eating habits, you can see the diagram. How many? More than 500 girls. Out of same 1,000 girls, 500 girls improved their hemoglobin. It reached above 12, which is a great achievement. Honorable Governor was present in Jain University. Yoga is compulsory for every student. Even if you are doing PhD, MPhil, or mathematics, you have to join yoga diploma. That's how we have to promote yoga. And 15,000, it was 21,000 students. On 21st June, 21,000 students practiced yoga, including self and my wife, in the presence of governor. So that's how we can promote yoga. It's not being promoted. Prime Minister will give directions. We at our level, at every level, school, college, universities, medical colleges, all these institutions have to work day and night. Then only we will be able to promote yoga. And Amitji, since I committed at this age of 70 years, I do Sirsasana. Whereas I was warned in Japan that a 70-year-old man cannot perform Sirsasana. I proved them wrong. And this is what is the power in yoga. I will just take a minute and show you again, because this video may be seen subsequently by thousands and thousands of students, how we can promote yoga. And if I can do Sirsasana, why can't our students perform Sirsasana? And slowly you get up by keeping your eyes half open. This is the king of asanas. And generally, the students are advised to do definitely this pose, as this is the king of asanas, and Nyoli Kriya is the queen of Kriyas. That's also very good Kriya, where you rotate your abdomen. Ravi Shankar ji has been promoting these many exercises, Bastrika, Art of Living, Sudarshan Kriya, etc. So everyone at our level has to definitely reach the grassroots level, so that this technique of keeping the youth, the elderly people stress-free and disease-free, it cures many diseases. And definitely, if you are alert, definitely the youth of this country will be stress-free, tension-free, anxiety-free, depression-free, and definitely they will never go for any suicidal things. Amit ji, in brief, I have just touched upon the yoga in the army in general and yoga in civil life. On ground, definitely, what are the weaknesses which you are facing today? Even Ramdev Ji's university could not make yoga compulsory. Why are we so scared? It has to. This is the need of the hour, and we must implement it by force. Thank you, Amit ji, Jai Hind, for giving me this opportunity.
Major Ranjeet Singhji, could you explain a little bit about the academic structures in the army? What are the things that you teach in the army apart from the normal military routines?
There are various, firstly, mapping training, where the Jawan, with the help of the map and the compass, he goes on ground. There are various kinds of tests. How he sees features on ground. Firstly, he sees on the map with the help of compass, and then he goes on the ground, so that at a small level, section level, a Havaldar or a Jawan, how they should move in dark or in daytime and give surprise to the enemy and reach the target and attack the enemy. Along with this, we teach various languages. We have got foreign students where Chinese, Tibetan, Bhutanese, etc. languages, including English, are also being taught. As our students as our officers. They go to Bhutan also, where they teach the Bhutanese students. We go to Afghanistan, where our officers they teach even English to the Afghan officers. So therefore, foreign languages are also being taught through our officers, and at times they come to our center Pachmari, where even at times Chinese officers also had been coming. Otherwise, Bhutanese, Sri Lankan, Nepalese, these officers they come and we train them in foreign languages along with music. The Army, Navy, Air Force music band training is also being imparted by AEC Training College and Center, Pachmadi, and various promotional exams where we help the Jawans in their promotions. Also, a Jawan who is capable of becoming an officer, we train them in academics, we teach them class 12 syllabi, and then when he passes the written, then we prepare him for officer. We give them psychological test and GTO10 and interview technique. So we have got almost more than 150 vacancies for Jawans to become officers. उनका training हम भी कराते हैं पचमढ़ी में, and very many Jawans become officers. Amit ji.
What about the Army welfare education schools? What is the status of yoga teaching and all that in those schools?
Actually, Amit ji, there are more than I think 130 Army schools and Army public schools, though there's a different organization to look after this. But generally, they are definitely admitting only the Army children, and the staff is good, education is very good. But I had been the principal of one of the Army schools, and I was looking after many other Army schools. There is no proper yoga training for holistic development of the students. That is lacking in central schools, Army schools, military schools, Sainik schools. In fact, 33 more Sainik schools, roughly 100 more Sainik schools will come. But I think kuch aane wale hain. 33 are already working. But there's no formal teaching of yoga, which is very good to de-stress the students in the formal teaching. We give them rigorous training, no doubt. Physically, we make them very strong. Mentally, we make them very strong, like NDA. But yoga somehow is lacking definitely in our educational institutions till date, Amit ji.
Kendriya Vidyalaya school, around 1200 of them.
Yes, Amit ji, there are Kendriya Vidyalayas in our country and in the foreign countries also. I was the OSD, officer on special duty with Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, visited more than 300 Kendriya Vidyalayas. They also go for trips, adventure activities, but definitely proper training of yoga is not being imparted. Of course, the students are doing very well. There's no doubt. They take part in various sports, but somehow this has to be streamlined so that the new education policy is implemented properly in central schools also. Amit ji.
How would you like to take up the mission of training the students
Amit
of
ji.
these KVS and Army schools? What is your suggestion to inculcate these practices?
Amit ji, in fact, whenever any responsibility is given, whatever life is left, I volunteer myself for any kind of service to the nation, including the military schools, the Sainik schools, the Army schools, and the central schools. There are more Sainik schools coming up. Let us hope that these new 100 Sainik schools in PPP model, public-private partnership model, that they do justice. Otherwise, they will become again the shops, like many B.Ed colleges, engineering colleges in Haryana. They are just shops. There's no training being imparted in these B.Ed colleges and engineering colleges in Haryana. Amit ji.
Globally, how do you see this yoga thing now being received? Because you were in the United States all through the winters. How do you find that being received in the United States and in developed economies?
In the especially in Australia and America, Indians have started doing it. By seeing Indians, the other neighboring people, they have started doing this. In America, it's also known as chair yoga. They're quite heavy. So they sit down on chair and start doing exercises. I also train some people so that you should not make it compulsory. Siddhasan, पद्मासन वज्रासन में बैठ के ही योगा होता है, ऐसा नहीं. But by seeing Indians, there are classes being run in every locality there. There's no doubt. It is being promoted. And by seeing these Indians, the local Americans are also started doing it. So it is going in a big way. And many Indian students are also teaching yoga there. But when I see a Chinese teaching yoga, definitely I cannot digest it because China is number one enemy of this country, and anyone definitely taking our technique, stealing our technique, and then teaching them is not acceptable to a soldier like me, Amitji.
What is your suggestion to the government of India to, because you see, we've made it the International Day on the 21st of June, as all the other schemes, all the other things, most of the things, the ornamental, what do you call, routines are performed. Rashtrapati Bhavan is decked up. North Block, South Block, all are decked up. We have beautiful carpets laid across the entire Raj Bhavan, Rajpath, and people leave no opportunity for the photo opportunities or the
Yes. Amitji, you
and the rest is left to social media for the glorification of India's great dive and what do you call, indulgence into the great historic tradition called yoga. But if I ask,
Amitji,
out of 100 people walking on the road, 5 asanas, I am 100% sure, despite all the beautiful channels that we have, out of 100, not even 5% will be able to talk. Our own countrymen show us any 5 asanas, even I would not know.
yes, yes,
Why is this so?
Amitji, use the correct word, ornamental. We believe in showbazi. 21 June, why do this only in 21st June? Why can't we make it a routine thing? I had been to 500 government or private schools, colleges and universities. Amitji, not more than 10. I invite students. Anyone can come on stage, kindly defeat, we will reward you. 3, 4 students will come, and I ask them, how many of you do it? Not even 10% students will raise hands. This is the actual thing. So Honorable Prime Minister made a lot of efforts, and he knows very well that's not being implemented. He only can give directions. It's the state agency, the responsible people, and people like us. Definitely we have to contribute. And the people who are in the chain of command, who are running these schools, the directors, the IS, lobby, the bureaucrats, they should interfere. When they interfere in any other thing, why can't they interfere here? They're in charge of schools, they're in charge of colleges, they're in charge of universities. They have various meetings with the vice chancellors. So therefore, on ground, Amitji, this thing definitely is not happening. And we feel very bad that when the Prime Minister is desirous of having these things at grassroots level, you ask any 100 people, 90 will say, I do not know.
In 2000, please continue, sir.
हाँ जी, आप 100 लोग इकट्ठे हैं, 20 इकट्ठे हैं, आप पूछिए, आप योगा करते? मैं करता हूँ. क्या करते? कपालभाति. Kapalabhati is not yoga. Do you know other asanas? What is yoga? Union of body and mind. Do you unite? Do you have breath control, breathing, concentration? Do you have all other pranayams? वो प्राणायाम के नाम ही नहीं पता उसको. अदरवाइज अमित जी, इतनी ताकत है प्राणायाम के अंदर, अनुलोम विलोम, कपालभाति, भस्त्रिका, उज्जयी प्राणायाम. You get totally relieved. But sorry to say, these are not being practiced. और आपके सामने एग्जांपल है. जापानीज कहते हैं आपका गर्दन कैसे इतना बॉडी वेट ले सकता है? A 70 years old man cannot balance 70 kg on neck. This is the takat of yoga, meditation, mental and physical, emotional strength, which you have built over a period of time. We want our young generation to learn, and any capacity, any responsibility given to me, Amiji, I'm ready to do it without any charges, without any free service to the nation. That's what we want to give it back. What Dr. Kalam has said. time has come. What can we give back to the society without being paid? This is what we are serving for now. Thank you, Vinci.
There are Western variants nowadays. If I do not know whether they are variants, but they are definitely very much in vogue. Zumba classes, aerobics,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
various kinds of dance moves or whatever moves.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, the word dance, I don't know whether I can use for that, but these are moves, pelvic gyrations, you know, basically, if I may use
Yeah.
the word properly. The pelvic gyrations is what enthralls today's generation. Aunties with bellies of around 40 inches, 45 inches are all getting admitted into those Zumba classes.
Yeah.
But if I ask them to join a yoga session somewhere, actually it's not very glamorous. It's not very attractive. It's out of today's, you know, mindset. So how do you motivate people to take up a very non-glamorous thing, which is linked to nature, which is linked to concentration, which is linked to renunciation, like yoga? How do you? Because it has got nothing to do with us got juices. You know, people need juices all the time. How do you give them juices out of yoga?
Actually, अमित जी आपने बिल्कुल ठीक बोला. जुम्बा एरोबिक और दूसरे डांसेस का वेस्टर्न डांसेस, every market, every third shop is of this bodybuilding, Zumba, aerobic. But there's no yoga class. Nowhere in the market you will find any yoga center. Nowhere except in the park. कोई हमारे जैसा आदमी बैठा होगा, उसके पास 4 आदमी बैठेंगे.
अगर मैं पूछूं कि
हरियाणा में
भारत का पहला योग मंत्री कौन रहा, तो ये भी मेरे देश के जो जितने लोग लॉ ऑफ सेडिशन के व्हाट यू कॉल क्यूरेटर्स और राइटर्स हैं, वो भी नहीं बता सकेंगे, क्योंकि ये नेशनलिज्म को अपने स्लीव पे लेके घूम रहे हैं. Whether it's they're carrying it on their sleeves or on their zip, I don't really know, but they definitely do what do you call pronounce themselves as being carrying nationalism on their sleeves, but they would not be knowing anything about who is the first yoga minister, which Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi ji brought on board after he became the honorable prime minister. So in a nation like that, what is the future of something which is as glamorous as you know, it's kind of an ascetic practice? How do you bring it on board?
Firstly, though, Amit ji, when the prime minister is working for so many hours, where does he get the energy from? He practices yoga, lakes lukewarm water. ये भी हमारी संस्कृति है. हरियाणा ने अपनी संस्कृति के लिए सैटरडे संडेज को राहगिरी शुरू किया था. एनी रोड साइड स्मॉल स्टेज, हरियाणा की संस्कृति और योगा को प्रमोट करो. वो बहुत अच्छा टेक्निक था. हम भी जाते थे जगह जगह. आई हैव स्टेज्ड many yoga asanas and things, and my wife also was with me at number of occasions. ऐसे अगर हम इसको प्रमोट करेंगे तो हम जुम्बा और ये एरोबिक के पैरेलल में खड़े होने के लिए काबिल होंगे. अदरवाइज they will overtake us. There's no doubt in it, and we will not be able to show our yoga technique. There's no doubt. कितना भी कुछ ना कर ले अमित जी.
How do you bring, my basic concern is, how do you bring glamour into yoga?
No. अमित जी देखो, one is most of the heroines, they do yoga, but they earn a lot of money. You know, Akshay Kumar, of course, a very good person. He is very physically very fit and all that. So many heroines also, they do yoga. They earn a lot of money. They'll do 2-3 poses. So this is one side. Second is, right example is the Prime Minister. लोग कहते हैं आप थकते क्यों नहीं है? Honorable Vice President 2 दिन पहले बोल रहे थे. Is how do you get so much energy? He gets energy through yoga. In fact, that's why he's working more than other people. So he's a live example. बाकी रविशंकर जी हैं, रामदेव हैं, and other acharyas लोग हैं. They're also working a lot. But definitely, unless we tell the hero heroines and all that put glamour, they only I think can promote. This is what I think other technique to promote yoga. Amit ji.
Frankly, I do not have the answer, Ranjeet ji, to this conundrum of popularizing a non-glamorous uh, thing like yoga, which is again a kind of a huge, tapasya. If I may say, it's a penance. It's a huge effort. It's lot of sacrifice to mentally make up yourself for being a yoga fanatic, or if not a fanatic, at least a yoga practitioner. But at the same time, when you compare that with circuses like Zumba, circuses
Yeah.
of the Western world, it's very difficult to really convince the youth of today about all those Western things that are coming into the picture. It's very difficult to compete with those things. Probably we need to modernize the way yoga is projected, modernize the way yoga is taught, yoga is practiced. We need to add more glamour to it, I think. How do we add more glamour? I do not know. How can we make it more interesting, attractive, and something which is sellable when it comes to individual positioning? Like somebody does classes on something like that, whatever what that is. That's individual glorification, individual positioning, social kind of upgradation, status being glorified. Similarly, yoga has to reach a state wherein somebody who knows yoga must be must start feeling that he has reached somewhere in society. That is as if I mean we have arrived, that kind of a feeling, the feeling which people get by doing all this clowny things, the same feeling, if that can be imbibed into people in this society. And the prime minister, I don't think really think can, by personally doing it on the Rajpath, bring such changes. The only way these things can really be imbibed is with some kind of a force, and then becoming part of the mental makeup, the way the mask has become. Now
Yeah.
mask, the mask has become a fashion statement. It's a status statement. If you are without a mask, you are ugly. So that is the kind of thing this country needs, I think, because it's a pack mentality which works here. We are a nation which got independent 75 years back, but it's really mentally not independent yet. That is the problem. Look forward, sir. Look forward to meeting you again. Jai Hind and Namaskar.
Thank you, Amit ji. Jain. Thank you for